So when it comes to familiarizing yourself with and internalizing these modes, it's really helpful to put them on a spectrum from light to dark. So when we do that, we get an acronym which is LIM-DAPL: Lydian, Ionian, Mixolydian, Dorian, Aeolian, Phrygian, and Locrian. Now these are not the same order, by the way, as what I was showing you where they come from, starting on this first degree, then the second degree of the scale. It's a different order than that. If you did it that way, it'd be I-dipl-mal, in case you want to know. But what this does is it starts the three major modes, which are Lydian, Ionian, and Mixolydian, and then it goes to the minor modes after that, the four minor modes. Major typically being associated with happy, minor with sadder. This is a subjective thing. It certainly depends on the context and placement of these modes. Like the note that makes Lydian, which is the fourth note, the sharp four, it's not necessarily always so happy. It can be really cunning and kind of devilish in other contexts. So, but for learning them, just think of them going from light to dark, Lydian to Locrian. So as we go through LIM-DAPL, we're basically taking one note of the scale and we're lowering it a half step. We're always lowering as we go light to dark. And these changes happen in either one half of the scale or the other, the bottom or the top. So, for example, the bottom half of Lydian has a raised four. So we have this high four here, all whole steps. And then the top half is the same as the major scale. 2 whole steps, 1 half step. Now as we go from Lydian to our next mode, Ionian, we are lowering the fourth note, making it sound like this and look like this. So that brings us to Ionian. So now as we go to the next one, the change occurs in the other half. We call these tetrachords, by the way. So from Ionian to Mixolydian, we're taking this note and lowering it. And then the next mode change, we're taking this note over in the bottom half and lowering that. So, not that you need to know that. I just think it's kind of cool. And if you forget what change occurs from mode to mode, you can pretty much say, well, what was the last change? It was this finger being lowered. Now the next change is going to be, the same finger in the top half of the scale, if that makes sense. So it gives you a way of remembering where to go from mode to mode. So I realized something in getting ready for this video that might maybe help. So this is a circle of fifths. If you're unfamiliar with what this is, there are about a zillion resources on the internet, on YouTube, to help you. I'll probably make a video about it at some point, but what you can do with this and modes is take LIM-DAPL, our acronym, and make it bendy, stretch it around this circle. You can make I, which is Ionian, which corresponds to major keys. These big colored letters are major keys. And if you put Ionian on the key that you want to focus on, so we're doing C, then you get a picture of what scales will correspond to which mode, as LIM-DAPL corresponds to each other key. So as we go clockwise around the circle of fifths, we progress in fifths. A G is fifth to C. So we go counterclockwise, since fifths and fourths are opposites, kind of. You get fourths as you go counterclockwise. In the same fashion, if we go clockwise from our key, we go one mode lighter. So that's to say, if you play a G major scale, which this shows you the difference between a G major scale and a C major scale is it's got F sharp, not natural, a raised F. So if you play this scale starting on C and ending on C, you'll get C Lydian. And then same way, if we go to the darkness, if you start and end your scale on C, but using the notes of F major, which has a B flat, that's its difference from C, you'll get Mixolydian. And so, you know, don't worry about this. These are the relative minors on the inside here, but this starts to allow us to think in different keys and different modes. They start to all kind of blend together and feel like the same thing, which is nice from an improvising standpoint. You're not thinking in separate keys as much, but you can, if that sort of thing works better for you, you know, you're in a minor key and you know that if you play out of B flat over this C minor chord, you're gonna have C Dorian. And if you know your B flat major scale really well, rip some of that, and that will give you the mode of C Dorian, which is a minor mode. So anyway, I just wanted to offer a couple different ways to kind of internalize this stuff. Lim Dapple.